Top 10 Ichigo's strongest
In
forms
today's
of
video,
Bleach.
We'll cover all of Ichigo's
Okay, let's
forms
check this
in
out.
Bleach. We'll start with his
We did
regular
do a
form,
similar video to
but
it,
in later parts of the
but
video,
you guys said that video was bad,
we'll
so
explain some of his most
let's check this
powerful
one out.
legendary forms.
Legendary
in his human
forms.
form, Ichigo is incredibly strong for a high schooler. Ever since Ichigo was a child, he
Not
used
bad.
to go to a dojo to train with Totsuki. Although Ichigo wasn't as strong back then and used to lose a lot, he changed after his
Human
mother's
form
death and
OP.
became very strong. Since then, he has repeatedly shown great agility and coordination in his attacks. What's really impressive is that Ichigo is also very courageous and doesn't care for the number of enemies he has to fight to protect his friends. Ichigo stopped training for a short time, but the constant attacks from bullies and his father kept his skills fresh. Although this is Ichigo's weakest form, his natural talent.
What was that? 20k? What's the meter? 20 watts. He looks so sick though.
Although this is Ichigo's weakest form, his natural talent and hard work will lead him to becoming much stronger in the future. Shinigami form. Ichigo obtains his Shinigami powers for the first time when his family is in great danger of a hollow attack. At that time, an injured Rukia could no longer fight, so she gave Ichigo her powers to defeat the hollow threat. Surprisingly, a complete novice like Ichigo managed to defeat a massive hollow effortlessly, which even a skilled Shinigami like Rukia had trouble fighting. When awakening his Shinigami powers,
how did Rukia like transfer it to him?
Ichigo also obtains his Zanpakuto, a soul cutter sword. The base form of Zanpakuto is the same for all Shinigamis, but what makes a difference are the powers obtained in the Shikai and the Bankai forms. The borrowed power allowed Ichigo to fight alongside Rukia and his friends, who also unlocked their abilities due to the Hogyoku inside Rukia. However, even with his natural talent and newfound powers, Ichigo wasn't untouchable in this form. Therefore, he suffered his first serious defeat against Renji and Byakuya, who came to the human world to take Rukia back and punish her for staying in the human world for too long. I also heard these guys punish people who don't hit the subscribe button, so make sure to click it just to be safe. Anyway.
Wait, they came to Earth to punish her?
After the fight, Byakuya took the borrowed powers, leaving Ichigo completely powerless.
Yoinked.
However, with Kisuke's help, Ichigo obtains his own Shinigami
the
powers and finds out the name of his Zanpakuto. Ichigo uses this form most of the time, especially in the Soul Society arc. His newly obtained powers paid off, as his rematch against Renji went exceptionally well. The last time the two met, Renji had easily beaten him, even with his powers restricted. This time, however, the tables had turned and Ichigo defeated Renji, who fought against him with everything he had.
Renji has a cool sword though, you can't lie, no?
What showcased his strength was the battle against the captain of the 11th Division, Kenpachi
This
Saraki,
guy.
who's well known for being a beast in combat. Ichigo has one of the most thrilling fights of the series with Zaraki and pushes him to remove his eye patch, which was limiting his powers. The guy defeated a captain despite being an amateur Shinigami who didn't even know how to control his own spiritual power. Around this time, Ichigo's strength had increased even more from battling strong foes in the Soul Society. Moreover, his speed significantly increased as well, which even impressed Byakuya, who's well known for his flash step. However, Byakuya is a formidable foe and can't be taken down that easily. Therefore, Yoroichi trained Ichigo to obtain a much stronger state.
Was that a hollow? What was that?
Taken down that easily. Therefore, Yoroichi
what is this? Like a training thing?
Ichigo to obtain a much stronger state of his Zanpakuto, so that he could have a chance against the captain of the 6th Division.
So majestic.
Bankai form. With all the captains of the Soul Society on his back, Ichigo had to gain more power to save Rukia, but he had no time to waste. So Ichigo obtains a new form, Bankai, through special training with Yoroichi. It's important to note that only captains and powerful lieutenants have Bankai, which cannot be obtained easily. What's more, it takes over 10 years of practice to completely master this form and use it properly. As our main character didn't really have 10 years, he fights Zangetsu physically for 2.5 days and manages to achieve his Bankai. This power did wonders for Ichigo as his Zanbakuto's size decreased.
Hold up, it was 2.5 days
increasing his
to upgrade
speed
it?
and destructive power. It proved to be a game changer in the fight with Byakuya, as he managed to actually see Byakuya's flash step and effortlessly dodge his attack as well. What's more, Ichigo started using a strong attack called Getsuga Tensho, which gave him an edge in the battle. However, it would be highly unrealistic for Ichigo to defeat a captain of Byakuya's level when he was just a novice, and he realizes this pretty
He didn't defeat him though, right? Byakuya just left.
This eventually leads him to awaken an even more powerful form, Hollow form. Unable to move his body and being repeatedly cut and stabbed by Byakuya, Ichigo is on his knees and almost about to die. However, just as Byakuya is about to land the final blow, Ichigo's hollowification begins. During this period, Ichigo has no control over his hollow self, and the power he showcases is immense and chaotic. making him faster, stronger, and more reckless than before. His powers completely changed the course of the fight, pushing Byakuya to go on the defensive. After the hollow form severely damages Byakuya, Ichigo manages to retake his consciousness by breaking the mask and proceeds to fight with his Bankai, eventually winning the fight. Later in the series, Ichigo forms a companionship with ex-Soul Society captains and lieutenants who are hollowified by Aizen and are known as Vizards. The Vizards then help him tame his inner hollow through tough training by making him enter his inner world.
Aizen looked so weird before.
Ichigo to access the powers as he pleases and remain conscious while using
them.
While Ichigo was fighting his inner hollow, Vizard fought unconscious Ichigo in the real world while he was fully hollowified. After retaking his consciousness, Ichigo stopped his hollowified self and broke the mask. Ichigo could use the mask for only 4 seconds at a time, and after training with the Vizards, his limit increased to 11 seconds. However, his growth didn't stop there, as the time limit of his mask further—
I feel like 11 seconds is still quite decent considered he's so fast, right?
Increases during his third rematch with the 6th Espada, Grimjaw Jaggerjacks. Here we see Ichigo using the mask for an extended period of time in order to fight on equal grounds with Grimjaw's second form, Vasto Lorde form. During Ichigo's fight with the 4th Espada, Ulquiorra Cypher, he realizes the massive difference in their powers and—
I think this form is my favorite. It just looks so cool.
Couldn't do much against him. On the brink of death, Ichigo is lying on the floor after Ulquiorra shoots a Cero Oscurus through his chest that even Orihime couldn't heal. Everyone thought that Ichigo died at that time. However, as Orihime begins to cry, Ichigo pushes himself, and his inner hollow takes over again, but this time with a massive change in his appearance. Ichigo becomes a Vasto Lorde, having long straight hair all the way down to his waist. What confirms that he's a hollow now is the hole in his chest, which he didn't have any of the previous times he hollowified. The scariest part of this transformation is his hollow mask that covers the entirety of his face, looking like a skull with big menacing horns.
So cool, man.
Ichigo is entirely mindless and chaotic, with the only goal of crushing everything in front of him, both friends and
Total
foes.
chaos.
Vasto Lorde Ichigo has new, very powerful
abilities.
It's
so
One
good.
of them being a Cero, which can cause widespread destruction. He also gained immense strength, allowing him to destroy a significant portion of Las Noches with just one swing of his blade. The guy easily tore—
Dude, he can literally destroy like cities with just a swing of his sword, right?
Off Ulquiorra's arm in the blink of an eye. This alone should be enough for everyone to realize just how powerful
and
he
cut
really
through
is.
mountains.
Furthermore, Ichigo also demonstrates several more abilities like fast regeneration and Sonido, a high-speed movement technique utilized by Hollows and Arrancar. Moreover, he almost killed Uryu, but Ulquiorra broke his horn, which reverted Ichigo back into his normal state. Although he never
and then he dies
utilized this
again.
form again, some of the forms we'll soon cover are even more powerful than this one. Dangai form. Next is Ichigo's Dangai form, which
and this one's
obtains
sick,
after
but it's like
witnessing
human
just
form.
how inferior he is to Aizen. At that time, Ichigo gave up to despair, losing hope to fight due to the massive difference in power. However, Ichimaru and Ichigo's father
Aizen's so much stronger at that point.
Saw his potential. Therefore, Ishin takes him to Dangai, a corridor-like dimension connecting the Soul Society and the human world. Time flows faster in Dangai compared to the outside world, so Ishin teaches Ichigo the final Getsuga Tensho in under 3 months, which will help him greatly in defeating Aizen. Afterwards, Ichigo rejoins the battle with a completely new appearance, now much taller and with his hair grown. In this state, it appears that Ichigo has his Bankai released, but the difference now is that Getsuga is also merged with him. Ichigo's spiritual power was so strong that even Aizen couldn't sense it. The Dangai form considerably increased Ichigo's speed and power, allowing him to battle Aizen without even getting a scratch. What's more, Ichigo even returned the favor by easily catching Aizen's sword.
Such a badass
like
move,
Ichigo's
man.
back in the Soul Society arc.
It's like, you know, you try to hit me with a sword. Nah, dude, I would just hold it right there.
The guy really made Aizen delusional, making him think that all the destruction around them was his powers, but in reality, it was all Ichigo's doing. Although Aizen continued to grow due to the Hogyoku in his body, Ichigo still managed to slice him in his 4th fusion and easily blocked his attacks.
And he fucking went to a rock.
To put an end to Aizen once and for all, Ichigo uses the final Getsuga Tensho form. In this state, Ichigo becomes Getsuga himself. He uses the entirety of his soul as a source of spiritual power for one significant attack. Ichigo explains that if he uses this
There's something about like the bandage wraps or whatever. It just makes you look cool, you know?
He loses all his abilities as a Shinigami, making it the final
badass.
Getsuga Tensho. Ichigo learned this ability in his inner world while fighting Zangetsu for 3 months. Zangetsu was entirely against teaching Ichigo this last technique because he wanted to protect him from the dire consequences of the method. Eventually, Ichigo convinces him.
And then when they fight for like 3 months, does it take like 20 episodes?
Leading Zangetsu to stab Ichigo with the blade, telling him that by accepting his sword, he will acquire the final Getsuga Tensho. In the end, Ichigo had to resort to using this technique because Aizen became immortal and would regenerate incredibly fast, which meant that he had to go all out and quickly end him. Ichigo's appearance changes as his hair grows longer and turns black, giving him a very mysterious yet terrifying look. Ichigo swings towards Aizen. Doing so causes
it's almost like he's a villain
black spiritual power
at
to
this
erupt
point.
Upwards and approach the target, heavily damaging anything caught within the blast. The technique is strong enough to severely damage Aizen, forcing him to use his weaker transformation. After this attack, the black spiritual power disappears as Ichigo falls to the ground in severe pain, losing his Shinigami powers. But in the end, this form had weakened Aizen enough to allow Urahara to seal him away. There were only 3 forms left to cover, and trust me, you definitely won't want to miss these. Fullbring.
I swear he dies again.
Form. After losing his powers as a result of his previous transformation, Ichigo finds out that becoming a Fullbringer would help him become a Shinigami again. Fullbringers are spiritually aware humans born with the eponymous ability, Fullbring, which allows them to manipulate the souls that reside in all physical matter. This power is awakened in children whose mothers were attacked by hollows, and since Ichigo's mother falls into that group, Ichigo gains access to Fullbring powers. In this form, Ichigo becomes much faster, and also gains the ability to jump high into the air, which greatly helps him in his fights. In addition, Fullbring Ichigo can generate swirling blasts of spiritual power, comparable to Getsuga Tensho in appearance, maybe even in strength. Ichigo eventually regained his Shinigami powers after being stabbed in the back by Rukia with a special sword containing spiritual energies given by all of the captains and lieutenants. Before we cover
Rukia is always there to help him out
in the entire show, let's first quickly cover his Shinigami rebuild form. During the 1000 Years Blood War arc, Ichigo fails to defeat Yiwatch and undergoes training in the royal palace in preparation for the war. There, Ichigo discovered that he also had Quincy's powers. Ichigo's father, Ishin, is the reason for his inheritance of Shinigami energy, while his mother, Masaki, is responsible for both his inherited Quincy and Hollow powers. After mastering Zangetsu, Ichigo is transformed into a new and powerful Shinigami form with 2 Zanpakutos, one representing the Hollow form looking like his old blade and the other his spiritual Shinigami, which is smaller. After reclaiming his powers, he also got improved versions of his attacks. Now he can release an exceptionally powerful Getsuga Tensho with his knife-like sword and giant shock.
How do you make him even more badass than he already is? Like
waves with the other one. Additionally, he gains a new attack as he combines the 2 blades.
Oh!
An attack
That's what I said.
Getsuga Jujisho. Bankai Rebuild. Ichigo achieves this state by placing his swords together in a specific way. In this form, the outer section of the blade turns white with the addition of a chain connecting the hilt and the edge of the blade. In short, Ichigo combines all his power and obtains the ultimate form beyond holification, which even Yuhavok noticed. Unlike his Vasto Lorde form, he was completely conscious.
I love Vasto Lorde
scared
though.
Orihime that it really was him and not a mindless creature thirsting for blood. Ichigo then explains how his mother's and father's powers were constantly at odds with each other, but now they finally have found balance. His appearance changed again, making him look like a mixture of his Vasto Lorde and
he has a horn.
With the giant white horn on his head. The Bankai rebuild gave him great speed and strength, allowing Ichigo to pose a threat to Yuhavok, even making him draw his blades.
Is he the most OP
Ichigo
right now
managed
then?
To perform a very powerful attack by combining his Getsuga Tensho with Gran Rei Sero, in the end, it was easily blocked by Yuhavok. He then
I wonder if he can still summon that red ball but with the horn. Just one.
Proceeded to break Ichigo's Bankai and overpower him rather easily. However, after Yuhavok leaves to destroy the Soul Society, Ichigo Zangetsu was fully restored with the help of Tsukishima with his Book of the End and Orihime's Soten Kishin.
Nice.
In the end, with the help of Aizen and Uryu, Ichigo swings his
That's a new form that we didn't know about.
And finally defeats the father of Quincy.
Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. That was a cool little update on the forms. I've not seen this one before. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, obviously check out the channel, check out all the other links, patrons, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. Bye.